Well, let's continue this story now. AfriForum claims Senzo Meyiwa did not die in a robbery that went wrong. They believe he was assassinated. Advocate Gerrie Nel says the challenge now is to bring the mastermind to book. And Advocate Nel joins us this evening. Good evening, Advocate. Thank you very much for your time. It really is great to hear that 5 people have been arrested, that more people may be arrested. Just explain to us why you are convinced that this was not a botched robbery, that this was an assassination, a deliberate attempt to kill this rising star.
Good evening, and thank you for having us. You know, it's not my belief. I received a briefing from the South African Police Service, from the investigating officer and the investigating team. That's also their belief. So they shared with us the fact that that is what they investigated. But that is what they say happened. And that is, in fact, when I watched the press briefing by the Minister and the Commissioner of the South African Police Service, what they said when they said there will be more arrests that will follow and that the investigation is continuing. But in our briefing, it was made clear to us that that's, in fact, what the police are investigating. It was not a robbery that went wrong, but it was, in fact, an assassination. I indicated to the South African Police Service that I owe it to the Meyiwa family to explain to them what happened, what we've learned, and this is what we learned. We promised the Meyiwa family that we will play open cards with them, and we've done so, and therefore we are able to say that's not only us, it's not our belief, but that's in fact what the police are investigating and what all the facts point to.
So obviously you believe it as well, otherwise you'd be contradicting us. Why do you believe it was a hit? What are the clues that you've picked up? What are the things that you've been able to glean? Are you able to share that with us?
I'm not able to share that with you. I'm sure everybody would like to know. What I can share is the following. I received the briefing. The briefing dealt with the 5 people that they've arrested, the strength of the case as far as the 5 people is concerned, and also the evidence that they collated as far as the main person that was involved. They shared that with me, and I'm convinced that they've gone a long way, and that arrest will follow soon. So yes, I share their view that it was a hit, and that the mastermind should be addressed and will be addressed.
We understand that the person who likely pulled the trigger is actually now in prison for another crime, and it could relate to taxi assassinations. Are you able to confirm that? Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not. Lots of people ask me the same question. That's why I could clearly say that I'm not. You know, when we were briefed, I'm a prosecutor. When we were briefed, I just concentrated on the facts of the matter, what evidence would be admissible, the strength of the matter. And so I share General Sitoli's view that there's a fairly strong case against the 5 people that they've arrested. But that deals with the murder. I think the police shared with us that they said with ballistic evidence, there's even more strong evidence to link the 5 people. There might be a bail application. If there's a bail application, I'm sure that all the evidence would come out. I hope so, in fact, and that society would be able to see what the police have done up until now.
Tell us about the gun. I mean, I think I don't know how much you know, and I don't know how much you're able to share with us. But for people like me who knows nothing about how ballistics work, it's fascinating that this information can be found 6 years on. And I'm wondering whether it's because there was a confession from someone and suddenly they realized this was the gun, or there was ballistics evidence collected at the time that wasn't properly analysed, and now with the cold case unit really looking strongly at this, they've brought it to light. Are you able to share any information about that?
Let me rather talk in general. So in any crime, if a murder is committed, one will pick up either empty cartridges or any other evidence that link that's seen to a particular gun. And then you have to wait up until the time that you find the gun that fired the bullets. only then can you ballistically link whatever you found on the scene with that particular firearm. So the police indicated to us that they found a firearm, and after they found the firearm, they were able then to link that particular firearm with the evidence collected on the scene on the day of the incident. So it's fairly regular. It happens in all the kind of cases that you first collect the evidence on the scene, and only later will you be able to ballistically link it. But I can't remember. I think it was in fact the minister that said that they ballistically linked the firearm that they found to the scene, which is absolutely good evidence.
The other thing I'd like to ask you about is how AfriForum came to help the Meyiwa family. I was chatting to our reporter, Tuba Vilani, who's actually outside the family home in Umlazi while the police minister's talking to the family. And he said the family actually were very disappointed, not in the police work, but in the NPA's work. They were getting no answers, and they went to a number of different people. And it was actually AfriForum who decided to help them. Are you able to tell us how AfriForum became involved and what your view is on whether the NPA did drop the ball, as clearly the family feels up until now?
Yes, it was as easy as receiving an email from Senzo Meyiwa. Senzo Meyiwa sent us an email saying, please help. We've been everywhere, and we just can't seem to be progressing this investigation. That led to consultations with the family, and that went, then we formed a relationship with the family. And what we did is, and I think that's perhaps one of the crucial things we did, in January 2020, we wrote to the NPA saying that we are unconvinced that the NPA is doing what they should, that the matter is progressing, and the NPA then transferred the matter from Johannesburg to Pretoria, which was huge. In Pretoria, there was a new team of prosecutors looking at the matter with a renewed focus on the evidence. We did exactly the same with the police investigating team. In January 2020, this year, after COVID, things feel long ago, isn't it? But in January 2020, we had a meeting with the police investigating team. We then picked up that the team, as compared at the time, will not be able to solve this matter. We engaged the minister as well as the commissioner of police, and the team was changed. And since then, I think the police had new vigor, and they were able to move the matter further and quicker. But, lots of things happen in any investigation. If the evidence is revealed, one would see that something happens, that leads to something, and then you follow up on something. I was amazed and I was impressed when I received the briefing, and I think Colonel Ganinda and his team did very well in this matter. We played a role as well.
Well, it's good to hear. I want to ask you about what AfriForum has said a little earlier, that you really want to see the mastermind apprehended. We know, sadly, it's all too easy to hire someone to bump someone off in South Africa. But getting to the person who ordered that hit is the problem. And I mean, we're seeing exactly the same thing with Charles Kinnear, trying to find who on earth would have commissioned that hit. How confident are you that we will actually get the mastermind behind this murder? And what role will AfriForum play now going forward?
Let me start with the role we play, and that will lead to the answer on your first question. We will still be supporting the Meyiwa family. We will be a watching brief in the trial. We will be going with Senzo to court tomorrow. We will attend all the postponements and the trial to ensure that justice is done, that evidence presented. And there's one other aspect, and that is that the Meyiwa family still have concerns as far as the investigation is concerned. We indicated to them that we will deal with every concern they have, and we will ensure that they understand the investigation, that they understand the court processes, and we will do what we can to assure them that justice was done. As far as your first part of the question is concerned, you see, I talk so much, I forgot about that almost. But it's a thing with a lawyer. You should never allow a lawyer to be on your program. But I've received a briefing from the investigating team. The investigating team not only addressed us on the 5 people before court, but also on the elusive mastermind. I've looked at the evidence, and I must say that I'm fairly convinced that we will see action in this regard fairly soon.
This is potentially really wonderful news. Thank you so much for your time this evening. We really do appreciate it. That, of course, is Advocate Gerrie Nel, and he is helping the family, the Meyiwa family, in trying to get answers as to what happened to Senzo Meyiwa and who was responsible for his death.